Okay, we are in the red. Guess what? The rally gets sold into a second time round, Anuj. And this is happening closer to the close of the day. So, I mean, would you read anything into it, given the, the build-up to policy day?
The view should not change in 10 minutes, right? So, the way it's fallen is quite interesting, because obviously, if you see the 27,400 put for today's expiry, it's still trading at 3 or 4 rupees. So the adjusted close should be still somewhere around 27,400, unless, of course, in the last 10 minutes, there's quite a bit of severe price damage which happens. Just pull out some stocks and see where this selling is really coming in from. Is it because of HDFC Bank?
It is HDFC and HDFC Bank. They've kind of extended that drop.
Yes. So
yeah, so
I think that's
two major ones.
That's the FI favorite stocks, of course. So HDFC Bank. Now that normally is the case on weekly options expiry day. That's the one which is sort of targeted. So that's going down a bit. But frankly, I think still no damage done for the overall market. 27,352. The mid caps are still holding on, Surabhi. That I think is the today's screen is much better than last few days. Last few days, the index has been doing well. Mid caps have been underperforming. Today, at least, the mid caps have done well. And a lot of stocks, a lot of portfolios would have recovered today a bit.
Yeah, that's the story. I mean, as long as you're not in certain pockets like, ADAG, etc., some of those troubled areas in the market. Otherwise, mid caps are definitely much better off today. Abhimanyu Sofat, Vice President Research at IIFL, is also with us. Abhimanyu, let's talk about these gold financing companies. Actually, both Manappuram, Muthoot, both of them having a good session today. Is it numbers driven? Is there something else that's changing? What is your sense?
So I think so clearly, these companies will benefit because when the banks, give money to these NBFCs, to companies which are into gold loans, they were taking 100% kind of a risk weightage, and now with the RBI action today, the weightage will reduce, and for that reason liquidity to these companies will improve, and for that reason I think so both these companies will do pretty well going forward. Retail gold loan as such as a segment continues to do quite well, and I don't think so has got too much impacted by whatever meltdown that we are seeing in the NBFC sector. So from that perspective, I think so both these companies should do well going forward.
Okay, now by the way, the bank Nifty is falling a bit more. 27,344, 338 is what you have on that index, and just take a look at some more names. Reliance, by the way, just put out Reliance's intraday chart, and that stock now at the low point of the day. Along with that, you have Larsen and Toubro as well. That's at the low point of the day. So a couple of these stocks. SBI as well is falling off a bit. Abhimanyu, I'll come back to you in a bit. Ashwini, your thoughts? You reckon just the weekly options expiry adjustment or anything more than that?
See, basically, things like IT, Reliance, Larsen, which were supporting the market for so many days, they are letting off a bit of steam. But the kind of support you have in this 11,000, 11,050 zone, I would think that this should get bought into tomorrow itself, and possibly this is a dip that people who want to get long should try to buy into.
Okay, fair enough. Abhimanyu, your thoughts on a stock like JSW Steel, now down 2.5%, and from yesterday's high it slipped quite a bit. And in fact, if you see the stock, ever since its index inclusion, it's been a one-way decline, 36% now from its highs. How you placed on this one?
So I think so with this for the steel sector, the clear case has been that recently, if you see last 20-25 days, we've seen that the iron ore prices have gone up drastically by more than 20%, and last couple of amount of increase which has happened in the steel prices, clearly it is more of a catch-up which is being done by the industry. And from that perspective, I think so for the steel sector and companies like JSW, one should wait for a better valuation to get entry into these stocks, because the future outlook of these companies is not as certain as what the case was, say, 2 to 3 months back. So right now, for the metal sector, we are not that aggressive in our portfolios.
Welcome back. So it's been a sell-on news kind of a situation. Markets again, dipped back into negative territory, and most of your big boys have just put their hands up today, taking some time off. Whether it's RIL, HDFC Twins, SBI, you name it, these stocks on the way down. Abhimanyu Sofat is with us, so let's get some thoughts in very quickly. Abhimanyu, are you buying iSure or Maruti or Bajaj Auto? Is the downfall over?
So, I think so, in case of iShares, we still are a bit circumspect about the volume growth going forward, because as they've gone into smaller towns, we believe that going forward, the revenue per dealership is going to come down for the company. The inventory level also at the two-wheeler side are, pretty high. That's the information that we have from dealerships. So out of the three stocks, I think so Maruti will be the one where we would be more sanguine, and would like to have that in terms of our core portfolios, because if you look at the multiple also, the stock is trading at close to around 18.5, 19x, which is quite reasonable considering that it's the only pure play commercial vehicle company with the strong leadership being there. So Maruti would be our pick among the three.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, we are down to the last minute of the day. Now, Anuj, given the fact that this was pretty much a sell-on news sort of an event, where does it leave us? So we're back to asking that question, whether the breakout is for real?
No, the breakout is real till the time 10,980 is, 10,980 is now your support. Every time you will dip towards that, you will see buying, Surabhi. Unless, that's gone yesterday, tomorrow itself, and the market starts to collapse with very bad advanced decline, you will say that that was a fake breakout. Today was essentially last hour was about weekly options expiry. Absolutely no doubt about it. But the post policy sell-off was more interesting for me, though that got bought into. So still all over the place. I think I would, if you're a bull, you would still take heart from the mid-cap performance today and the advanced decline. Let's see if that can sustain. But in terms of individual stocks today, of course, let's start with losers, because the Nifty is ending in red, though the final close might be just about flat based on adjustment. But Larsen & Toubro, Reliance and HDFC, these were three stocks down quite a bit. IndusInd Bank was down, Bajaj Finance, Hindalco, GSW Steel, and Tech Mahindra seeing some profit taking after yesterday's monster move. On the way up, Z Entertainment up about 4.5%, back above 400 on Z. That's a crucial level to watch out on Z Entertainment. So let's see, Sun is up 4%, but the sector of the last few days really is auto. But today also just a secular move. So you had iShares, Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors, Hero MotoCorp, Maruti Suzuki, across the board buying in auto names. Yes,
no, absolutely. Big moves on a lot of those stocks. In fact, even beyond the Nifty 50, you had, as Anuj mentioned, even names like Ashok Leyland, Motherson. If you extend that to some of the financiers like Shriram Transport Finance, these were stocks that were doing well. Actually, that brings me to the NBFC space, because that's been a strong pocket of the market today. So M&M Finance, Shriram Transport Finance, the gold financiers like Manappuram and Muthoot, a lot of these financial stocks did actually quite well. The new bank, the IDFC First Bank, that stock was also up and about. So generally speaking, pretty decent session for some of these names beyond the Nifty 50. Other gainers included Vodafone Idea, 8.5% up on that stock. Then you had some gains come in on some of the good result reactions, Minda, Cadila. So these were stocks on the upside today. If you talk about the other key gainers, CG Power stands out, 9% up. Bombay Dyeing was a high flyer, 8% up. Gains on ICICI Pru as well. So plenty of names on the upside. Rain Industries. Lots of these stocks are bouncing from their 52-week lows. They've been hammered in the last few months. And today was a day when some of the buyers emerged. However, having said that, on the flip side, the problems for the ADAG pack continue. Take a look at Reliance Infra, another 30% gone there. Reliance Capital, 19%. Reliance Home Finance, plenty of names on the downside in this pack as well. Raymond was the other stock. There is some concern, some reports doing the rounds about whether there is some issue with promoter-related entities. That stock was down about 8% on the back of that buzz. Indiabulls Real Estate has lost about 3.5%. Adani Power, DHFL, these were some of the names that were still struggling. Well, on that note, we will thank all our guests, Ashwini, Mitesh and Abhimanyu, for being with us. We need to take...